Oh, it occurs to me that if I ever want to put things in chat, I should not be in this browser. I gotta be on a different browser.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can have it up. Also, hello, chat. Hello. We are here. Hopefully you can hear both of us. I again, as you guys know, I
Hi.
don't have people on often, but yes, and let me know audio balance. But yes, hello, Ashikai. Welcome to the channel.
Hello, I'm here.
How are you guys doing, chat? We have a very, very fun time today.
I am apparently quiet.
You're quiet. I turn up. Okay, there you go. Say a sentence.
Hello, sentence.
Okay, now it's very loud. Now I think you're very loud, but it's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We should be balanced now. Now we should be good. Also, I have this on the wrong thing. Look, I have a whole lore stream set. There we go, chat. Okay, so now you guys can see my screen too. So if I ever need to pull up evidence on something, then we have it. Also, clearly my chat is in the wrong section here, but whatever, we'll fix that. Anyway, welcome to Fairy Radio episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. This is a series where we literally just stream and discuss lore. That is all we do. All we do is chat about everything you want to know. Obviously, I have some ideas that I've asked you guys what you wanted to know beforehand, but you can at any point ask questions and we will answer, because I know there's a lot of questions from this most recent update. Also, I will turn off alerts. Thank you for subscribing. Just in case the alerts go crazy, they won't like be too loud in the discussion. But thank you for subscribing. Anyway, welcome all. Welcome all. Ashikai, how did you enjoy 1.4?
I thought it was awesome. And I'm really glad that my first impression of Zenless from the second closed beta, which was the one I played, when I played it, like, my main takeaway was, like, I think this game actually has the best writing of all of Hoyo's games, and that's holding up, and
Yeah.
I'm very pleased.
Yeah, I have also like solidified that sentiment. I say it all the time in stream, and I also make sure that I say, just because I say it's the best writing doesn't mean it's the best story. But yes, I do think
Yeah,
it
those
is
are
the
two
most
different
consistent.
things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many times where I say it has the best writing and they're like, actually, have you played this other one? But yes, I
You
have
know,
a
writing
question.
is different from the story, which is different from, like, the lore,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, for me, those are three different things, because, like, writing is your execution of it. It's the actual, the wording and the shots that you decide to present and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's where I look at writing. And then when I think of story, I think of, like, if I boiled this down into bullet points, how good are the bullet points?
Yeah, and the bullet
You know?
points are
And then the
good.
world building is, like, everything else. Like, could I build a D&D campaign around this?
Yes.
And how good would it be? Like, how neat would that actually, how well would that work? How cool could I actually bring these mechanics into something else? Like, that's kind of how I separate those out. But I think Zenless
Yeah.
has the best writing. I think it has a good story and good lore so far, but I don't know if we'll be able to say if it's, like, fantastic on those sides for a while.
Yeah, it does need more time to cook. It's brand new. It's a whole new. And actually, chat, we'll bring this interview up, but there was a dev interview where they actually revealed a lot of information with like the original a little bit more history on where hollows actually came from. And they actually talk about that they have, or how they split up the teams on finding out like the world building and lore and stuff, and it was super interesting. If I can find where they actually had it. I think you have did you have a translated screenshot in your Discord? Or was it from the, or did you just Google translate it?
I Google translated it, but the Reddit post where I found out about it, the original poster actually like took out the like 3 big things from that dev interview that were like most important lore wise, and then they translated it. So the translation's actually like pretty straightforward. It's not butchered. That happens.
Yeah, it's so hard. I hate Google Translate. There's so many times where it's just completely wrong. Also, to answer one of the questions in chat, Can we answer the most important lore question? Does Nekomata have 2 ears or 4? I'm pretty sure she only has 2. They did not give her the Blake Ruby treatment.
The what?
Blake from Ruby, she has 4 pairs of ears. She has 2 human ears and 2 cat ears.
Oh,
They like
no,
didn't
I
do
hate
one or the
4
other.
ears. God, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in anything that has like half animal people. If they have 4 ears, I just.
Really? I think it's cute.
No. No.
That's
Okay.
so funny.
If you need 2 ears to hear in stereo, do you want to hear in like stereo twice?
Yeah, no, I mean it would definitely be awful for the person that has the 4 ears.
That would
That's for
screw
sure.
with my brain. I hate it.
Oh, Courtney, question about the war and how we know that hollows are created from that. Was it an ancient war, or did the Mayflower family survive it to build new Eridu? So let me read the actual section from the article, and then we can like break it down. So, where was the question? Yeah, so the question that was asked was, what is hollows and ethereals? And the answer was, also, can you guys read this? Let me make this a little bigger in case you can't read it in that tiny screen. Anyway, the answer was, hollow is the aftermath of an ancient or long ago battle/war. You can call it the remnants of that war. Besides the known hollows, there are countless unexplored hollows across the planet, which we could have assumed the planet is definitely overtaken by hollows. Ethereals are creatures born out of the hollow with time and chance. Both hollow and ethereals have their unique ecology. So, basically, what I would assume from that was that this war is what caused the old civilization to fall. At least that's, I feel like, the safest assumption.
I kind of agree with that because, like, Ching Yi's little music video. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's kind of like more of a poetic music video, and that like you're not supposed to take too much of it too literally. But like, it's very interesting to me that how much of her reimagining is centered around combat and war and fighting in historical contexts, which we know isn't something she actually straight up experienced herself. Like, she wasn't some feudal lord or anything, but she was an ancient android. And if she's dreaming about scenes of combat from a time long gone by, it does make me wonder if, you know, there was an here's a totally feels-based theory.
The best theories.
If any of you haven't played and plan to play Nier Automata, plug your ears for like the next minute. Because in that game, you basically have a bunch of androids on Earth who are fighting, well, other machines. Like, they're basically like waging a proxy war on behalf of humans. And the real humans were supposed to be in like a colony somewhere on the moon, kind of like in hiding, preserved and all that kind of stuff. And I was just thinking, like, I'm not thinking that they're gonna copy Nier's story and setting or anything verbatim, but considering there's a giant hollow on the moon and the hollows require organic matter in order to spread, and that thing like covers half the moon, you do have to wonder if there was like a pretty big moon base up there.
Yeah, that's so
and
interesting.
If androids like Ching Yi like Ching Yi calls herself like a huge bangbu a lot of the times.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just a big bangbu. and bangbus were made for, you know, hollow evacuations, and she can interface directly with them, and it makes you wonder if like bangbus are based off of technology that was found in android remnants like hers.
Yeah.
And if so, then she must have been created to fight in hollow-ish conditions, or at least the conditions that led to creating hollows. So I wonder if it's possible that, you know, a lot of androids were deployed to fight in some war.
Yeah,
on
it's
behalf
really
of, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting about the, like, there needs to be, like, what was on the moon? because there does need to be organic matter, and that is a lot. Like, that is a huge hollow. So there must have been something up there. My original idea was, by the way, chat, we will get to the the siblings scene in a little bit. But yeah, so my original idea was that if it was this war that was raged, I'm assuming it was like ether weapons that caused all of this to happen. So maybe they were testing the weapons on the moon, and so they had like a big, in case something were to happen like that, they wanted it to be not on the actual planet that they live on. And so they did have like a big research base up there to try and figure out how to make these weapons, and then maybe something went wrong. But even if that's the case, it's still half the moon. Like, half the moon looks like it's completely taken over.
Azzy, I'm gonna add some like really crazy actual scientific and semi-pseudoscientific stuff to this mix, which would be
perfect.
really fun to see how you use. Have you ever heard of hollow moon theory?
No.
I mean, everyone's probably heard of hollow earth theory, right? Like, there's giant caves beneath the earth, and there's some super advanced race that lives underneath there, whatever. It's like, well, that's not gonna happen. Well, hollow moon theory came about because apparently, let me.
You're gonna pull it up? You're gonna pull a whole scientific research document?
No. Here's the thing. Between 1969 and 1977, there were seismometers that were installed on the moon by the Apollo space missions, and they recorded moonquakes. And the way that these moonquakes were described is that the moon rang like a bell, like it was hollow, and it had something inside, and it was literally ringing.
That is interesting.
That's what led to this hypothesis that the moon could be, at least in part, hollow. And I'm just sitting there going, hey, we've got hollows on the moon. The moon could be hollow.
It's just one big hollow.
Wonder, like, they're a colony inside the moon. Is that not actually a moon, but a Death Star?
A Death Star.
Not a real Death Star, but, you know, like a giant spaceship that's round.
Huh.
And then, like, maybe something hit the moon, and then that's kind of like the bleed out, the hollow bleeding out of it from the inside. So like the whole inside of the moon is just a giant ass hollow.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway, I'm gonna just send you this Wikipedia article.
Yes, do that. I will look into it.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, so the other thing that I want to point out on this like answer is the fact that they say ethereals are creatures born out of the hollows with time and chance, which I take that as they weren't actually, like, ethereals weren't a thing originally. Like, it was sort of okay, how do I want to word this? Ether corruption and ether is very, like, similar to radiation, like radiation poisoning and whatnot, the way that they kind of showcase it. So with the way that, like, radiation causes things to evolve, like the plants and some animals around the Chernobyl area, they've, like, mutated to, like, live in the radiation, high radiation surroundings. And so that's sort of what the ethereals are, I guess, is just over time something has just evolved, and that's why we're seeing essentially another evolution of ethereals right now in our current time. I guess it's been long enough for them to start, like, actually evolving with the what are they, the symbiosis ethereals and whatnot. Yes.
More radiation mutations. All will become Spider-Man.
I mean, hey, it's crazy the amount of research that they're doing on it. There was something in chat that I wanted to point out, or that I wanted to go back to. It was a question of, I think someone asked, did the siblings cause the disaster? I will say, if it was a war, since they say it was so long ago, and if we're under the assumption that it was what caused the old civilization,
Yeah, that would have
to
been hundreds of
collapse.
years ago.
Yeah, that would have been way before the siblings were even like close to being born. But I guess with us saying being born, what is a symbiote ethereal? I've heard the term several times, but have no clue what it is. I can explain it, but Ashikai, do you want to explain what the symbiote ethereals are?
No.
No. I got you.
Well, I confuse myself about them, but it's because I get really hung up on the two different types of ethereals, right? Because like you can have an ethereal that's based on a corrupted human, and then you can have an ethereal that's like one that manifests from the hollow from seemingly nothing.
Uh-huh.
And whenever I think of it that way, I confuse myself about the symbiotes because I'm just like, which is it? Is Nineveh actually like a person?
Yeah.
Are like all of our symbiotes like little ghost human babies that are warped?
Well,
And,
we
like,
do know that
That'd be kinda
Nineveh
weird.
was a person, right? Because in
Really?
the lost items of Hollow Zero, Nineveh
don't
was
have
my
those
mom.
lost
Oh, here, let me pull them up then. Let me actually launch the game so I can show this to you.
I mean, they're on the wiki. I just
Oh yeah, but it's okay. I have all of them. I have every single one. I'll just pull it up in game.
keeping up with 3 games has put me a bit behind on some of the optional, more tedious content, unfortunately.
Yeah, I will say, did you see the trick to like get all of the lost items?
I've heard of one going around, but I haven't seen it.
You just go into the core of like the metro area, and in the very first like area, if there is one, then you go to it and you can just get it. If there's not, you immediately leave and then boot back in, and then just keep doing that, and you can get 3 a day, like 3 per day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It makes it super easy. Do we know what the dark wall is yet? No, but we should be getting information soon because they mentioned it in game. In this patch, actually.
I still think the dark wall is like an endless field of hollows.
That would be sick.
But there's nothing to support that beyond its name.
Yeah, and well, there's something special about it too, with what Miyabi was talking about when she mentioned it. Like the energy of the ether is different. Where was it? Was it blossoming out of the? Yeah, I don't really know what that means either. But chat, which one was it? It's the one with the broken face. Broken vase. Vase. Ah, yes, here it is. Okay.
Oh, vase.
Yeah, vase.
Who? What?
Let me change the... I'm going to change the stream over to the game real quick. Okay, can you see this?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen these.
Okay, so yeah, this one is like obviously fabric. A piece of torn cloth that looks like it was once part of an expensive dress. Although it is stained with mud, closer inspection reveals traces of fading from washing and wrinkles that not even cleaning could smooth out. Who would damage a good piece of clothing just to get a piece of cloth? And then there's this, the matchbox with the seeds.
Well, that one I do have.
Yeah. A fairly clean and light matchbox, seemingly empty.
Oh, I see why you're suggesting whoever this. Okay, you know what? I do vaguely remember having a conversation about this. I don't have the pink scarf. I do have the flower and the seeds and the book. I have those 3.
And then there was...
missing the other 2.
Wait, what is this one? Is it the...
I actually wondered if Nineveh could be Carol at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because, like, I don't know. It seemed plausible, but then they're just like, oh, no, the hands grabbed Carol, and now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's probably still...
I guess because we kind of just assumed she was dead, right? I guess they never really said that. They said that she fell.
I assumed it because, like, when... at the end of the Sons of Calydon arc, they were just like, you know, she saved us.
Uh-huh.
And if you, save somebody from a hollow disaster that you supposedly caused, I mean, there's only two things that are going to happen there, right? Like either it was an act of self-sacrifice and she like threw herself into the flames to get two kids out of a burning building kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
Or she survived and was arrested and is now in a maximum security prison somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, like it was one of those two options. I feel like I should have, but I didn't exactly think that giant white eyeball hand of God is gonna come out of the ground and flow through an ether.
Yeah.
But sure,
Yeah, and snatch her
we'll go with
away.
that.
I guess she may have. I guess it grabbed her when she fell. I'm assuming because they talk about the fact that they watched her fall into like the chasm, and so I guess the hand caught her when she was falling is the best explanation to link the two stories that we've gotten so far. But yeah, it's really interesting to like chat said, she's either Carol's either alive or some sort of sacrifice by now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they've actually done with Carol. Which
Yeah, I'm hoping they make her kind of like Genshin's Rhine daughter.
you're gonna have to explain that one to me because I don't play Genshin.
Um, she is like this. She's a scientist who was blamed for a gigantic cataclysm
Uh-huh.
that almost destroyed the world. And she's known for making giant, crazy, draconic monsters that, destroy everything they touch.
Right.
But she's also like the member of a very helpful group to the main character. She's one of the Hexen Circle or one of the witches.
Oh.
But she's also considered one of the greatest sinners in the game. Like she's like what part of the group that's an enemy of, well, someone we've considered our closest companion, Dainsleif.
Yes.
Who kind of follows us through the history of the Cataclysm and stuff like that. So she's like kind of playing both sides. So she's like this weird morally gray scientist who's like kind of mad, but also like very sane in her madness.
Mm-hmm.
From what we've seen of her.
Chat said she is Oppenheimer of Genshin.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty. Well, I don't know if she has any regrets,
Yeah.
But I would say she definitely has her own set of morals. I think it makes her a very interesting character, even though we've seen and heard very little of her.
Yeah.
But just like because of the setup, Carol Arna was a scientist. She had students that really loved her, and she's blamed for a gigantic disaster that nearly destroyed the world. Like, just those three things alone, I'm just like, that sounds a lot like Rhine daughter. I wonder if they'll also make her kind of semi-morally gray, or if they're gonna go with, oh no, she's totally good, she was kidnapped and working against her will, or no, she was a double agent, and she jumped in here and then tried to disappear, and no one was supposed to see that. And she was going back to the side she originally belonged to, and she's actually evil or whatever.
That would be interesting if that was actually the case. Like, if she did intentionally try to cause the expansion, and now the siblings are under this like false pretense that she was framed, but she actually did do it. That would be a cool twist, in my eyes. My original theory that I had for Carol was that because obviously, the Order would have infiltrated Helios research, right? Like, I think we can agree that there was definitely some Order people that were in there.
Yeah, I think that's realistic.
Yeah. And so my idea was that she had been secretly trying to fight against what the Order was creating inside of Helios. And that's why they ended up trying to frame her, was because they caught her like going against it. But because if she's the one that made the HDD, it is kind of the opposite of what they like to do, which is actually just physically going into the hollow and being in the hollow, and it allows them to explore the hollow without actually endangering themselves. But the like, oh, where am I trying to link all of this? Anyway, I think I'm trying to do two different theories. My Carol theory was that she did know that the Order was actually in Healer's research and that she was fighting against it. But I do like the idea that she was actually maybe a double agent. That would be kind of cool.
Well, because like I was talking to some folks on Discord, and they were drawing some parallels to the Arpeggio Fault, where it was like a double agent who got sympathy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's foreshadowing for this. I thought that could be kind of interesting because, like, the thing is we follow a Bangbu through that, and you know, Eos belonged to Carol, so you could look at it being like, well, maybe that Exploraboo is supposed to be like representational of like what Eos is gonna go through.
Yeah, that would be so sad.
Yeah, not even so much the siblings. Like the siblings will be fine, but poor Eos, man.
Yeah, but now that you mention it, that's actually we've had 2 instances of that. Because it was that one in the Arpeggio Fault, and then there was, which I'm assuming you already did it, Harmasa's quest.
Yeah. Where
it was the same thing. I mean, I guess he wasn't really like a double agent, but he did, you know, gain sympathy and then go against what they wanted. So, there is a trend. There is a trend.
It is interesting that in Harmasa's quest, they're just like, well, the gods abandon us, so let's steal the power of the gods.
Yeah, that was,
and so
that was so funny.
Now going down the route of like trying to control evolutionary aspects and trying to adapt to new hollow life and control that and all that kind of stuff.
Can you power scale Kami North? Kami North is the most powerful Bangbu of all time. Oh, also, I just realized I totally did not explain the symbiotic ethereal thing. So there are...
Oh, we got sidetracked.
Yeah, we got sidetracked. I completely forgot. I feel like there should be... It happens so often. There's technically 2 instances of like... Definition of symbiotic ethereals would be the situation of like the stinger looking ethereals like following underneath Nineveh, and you know, them having that whole like they protect each other and whatnot. But in the actual game, the symbiotic ethereals are quoted as like Geppetto or Nineveh, like the ones that have special traits around them. So Nineveh can, I forget what the actual corruption is called, but she has like a special ether corruption, and she can spawn those little like stinging things and, you know, cause the tentacles and plants and whatnot. And then the second one that we have is Geppetto, which is the most recent one that we've got. Yes, and Lerna. Yeah, Lerna was also one as well. They did call it a symbiotic there, I think, in the actual trailer. So Lerna was one. I think they did. Yeah. But Lerna was defeated. So the only 2 that we actually have are Nineveh and Geppetto. Geppetto is special in the way that it can, well, one, it seems to actually have sentience. And it can control other ethereals like puppets, essentially. And it can also create them.
Yeah, so along that same line, I was thinking about how in Harumasa's quest we see his master hovering around the suitcase full of stuff that he made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's probably been doing that for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Or however long. And it kind of makes you realize that like ethereals in a lot of ways are ghosts. And they remember to some extent things from when they were human, because like we saw it again with Silver at the very beginning of the game, because he wanted the strongbox. Yes. And after he corrupted, he was still obsessed with the strongbox. And so you gotta wonder if all of the other ethereals that you see also have those exact same stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like, there was an instance. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, the Dead End Butcher would be interesting. There was chat. If you guys know like which one it is, let me know. But there is a in the details thing of one of the ethereals, it talks about the fact that if their desire is strong enough before they turn, then that's like the last thing that they have. Like whenever they turn into an ethereal, their traits and experience transfers over to their ethereal state. And so that it explains that that's like the last thought that his master had was, I need to get this to Haramasa. And so yeah, when he turned, since that was his strongest desire at the time, the ethereal also just wanted to protect the strongbox, even though it obviously didn't recognize it.
That is straight up a lingering ghost. That's a ghost with unfinished business, which is like wild to me. Like, okay, so the reason why I was like fixated on that is because we also have all this stuff about like different levels of ether purity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if ethereals reach a certain size or they get a certain level of purity, if they can almost regain or reconstruct some level of sentience. You know what I mean? So, like, is it possible that we don't know that Nineveh can talk or has sentience or anything, but, you know,
yeah,
maybe
true.
She has something like that.
The MCs
the thing about humans is that, like, we're so language focused that, like, we only really recognize something as intelligent if it starts to use language.
Yeah, that's true.
So we haven't seen enough of Nineveh in her natural environment to be able to say, like, oh yeah, no, she's not just mindlessly protecting her little symbiotes wandering around the hollow. Like, does she actually have a plan? Does she communicate with them? Does she sing to them? Like, what like, does she have some level of intelligence that you could mark?
I hope
with Geppetto, because he can puppet other things, so you can kind of see the thought process, really, right? Because he's trying to control things, and so like it's almost like that's another method of communication. It's like charades.
Oh, and with Geppetto, I actually I don't remember this, but chat, confirm if this is actually true or not, or Ashikai, if you know. Chat told me that Geppetto actually wrote us a letter. Like, one of the rewards from the thing is a letter basically trying to trick us to come into the hollow.
Geppetto did?
Yeah, like, as in Geppetto has control of, like, things outside of a hollow. Which, I don't know if that's true or not. Because there is, like, a lot of stuff that I haven't collected from that yet. But someone told me that they wrote a letter that basically was
where
like,
is this?
That's what I'm wondering. Because if that is, like, because I don't think I have it. I don't know if it was I don't think it was the letter from Ray. Because if that is true, that's actually insane.
Lost Void ones?
I think it would be from the Lost Void. Send through Gmail. yeah, they... yeah, Geppetto.
No, not Gmail. 8th mail. Hollow mail.
oh, yeah. There you go. Where is the Lost Void? Oh, Sky Outpost. Because I don't remember if that's actually a thing or not. Oh, email, ethereal mail.
Oh, that's so much better.
Too. See, but that's the thing is I can't even... There's not like an actual lore collection thing here. So I'll have to look into that and see if there's... Because I know most of the collectible things they give us is... Yeah, here. Oh, this is the simulated battle trial. Yeah, I don't think I have that. Yeah, so I'll have to look into it to see if that's actually true or not, because that would be insane if that is. But to switch the topic from the actual ethereal like thing that we were talking about, the symbiotic ethereals, since I know a lot of people were wondering our take on the siblings, I'm actually going to ask you, because chat asks me all the time, do you think the siblings are human or not?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I don't know why the immediate response from a lot of people were that we're not human. I know we tanked an explosion. I know, but I don't think it was a real explosion. The way that you described it in your recap video was a sort of mental attack, but what I mentioned was that
I didn't know what else to call it.
yeah. It did seem like it was I know it visually looked like an explosion, okay? But I do think it was basically just a wave of that mutated ether. So this is where we can actually bring up the dossier of Bringer, because my original explanation in the stream when I was playing the story, and for those chat that was there when I was playing it, you know what my idea on it was, but it was that it looked like whatever Bringer was doing was mutating the ether around him to become a different version of ether, where it looked like he did like a domain expansion and the big red like thing happened, and so that's kind of what like
why I did the mental attack, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go on if you want to go into that a little bit more.
Like, I'm kind of in the camp that ether is very connected to like consciousness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to me, if he's changing the ether around him, and then he does like a pulse of that red ether, then, and it's like related to consciousness, and that's kind of why I'm just like, well, maybe it's like a mental attack because he's trying to corrupt their mind. Because like we've already established that like ether goes for organic matter, yes, but the machines and stuff that it can corrupt are all things that can think, right? They're all things that have logic cores.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some level of sentience that's there. Like it feeds on organic matter, but it corrupts sentient things.
Yes.
Even if they're not organic.
Yeah.
So that was why I lent more towards the mental attack sort of thing.
And that makes sense. Because
mine first, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm trying to find where it actually shows it here.
Are you looking for the screenshot I sent you?
Yeah. Well, I have the dossier pulled up, but I was trying to find where it actually says it in there.
It's like on the bottom of one of the animated GIFs.
Oh, yeah, here it is. The sacrifice can use its own special ether resonance to refine nearby active ether energy into various weapons. What? What? So...
Which is interesting because they keep saying things like create or refine me, and I'm just sitting here going, oh, it's like an oil refinery process. You take the crude and you turn it into something a bit more usable.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you take crude ether and you could refine it into something a bit more workable.
Which is interesting because we use it as oil, technically. Like the Shayu pillars will transfer the ether energy around the city to power it. Like we use it as actual energy. As to if we have, do you think we refine it a little bit, or is it just raw ether energy? I don't know how they actually we don't know how they turn it into energy.
I mean, I'm sure it at least goes through a condensing process, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would assume that it like gets concentrated or it gets some impurities removed or something like that. Like I'm sure there's some level of that going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also like liquid ether, there's ether crystals, there's, you know, there's different states of ether matter.
Also, Bringer was drawing on tailless energy. That's what the red sky was, ether plus foxfire. That is true, because while he did do that domain expansion, he did say, I have the power of the, whatever the term was.
The cursed blade.
Yeah, the cursed blade, yeah. And then also when Miyabi and Bell, or sorry, whichever sibling you chose, was trying to sheath the blade, it was the same red, like, energy type of thing.
Yeah.
But either way, the Order has found a way to tap into the ether and have different resonances. And also, yes, you are correct. In Hollow Zero and stuff like that, we do call it the resonance. There's a lot of resonance. They also say the W engines resonate with the ether too, technically. Like, it just music.
Yeah, like
resonates.
you control the ether with the sound too, to a degree.
And so while they're not using sound,
bit.
they're manipulating it in a different way.
Well, they're not using sound as we traditionally think of sound, but sound is just a frequency.
That is true. Yeah, you did bring up this whole frequency thing in DMs. If you want to go into that idea, if you still believe in it.
I don't know. I've pitched so many ideas as I'm trying to like.
Yeah, it was the one where you said that you think ether has like that this is on the other end of the spectrum of ether because there's like different like radio waves and like stuff like that.
Yeah. I was thinking like there might be different wavelengths of ether. Like if you look at like the electromagnetic spectrum, I think that's what I was using as just like a basic example. You basically have like short wavelengths, which are over in the infrared and radio waves and that kind of stuff, and then you get into visible light, and then you start going further, and then you get into like gamma rays, x-rays, microwaves, and that kind of stuff, and it's like a much longer wavelength. And I wondered if like, that could also be part of it, because like we always talk about radiation you know, causing mutations, and that's not entirely false. But then also I think about radio waves, and I know this isn't like totally the same, but we use radio waves in a degree to like transmit sound and stuff.
Yeah, we do.
So, like, that's consciousness-ish, sort of.
Yeah. And so that's
You
how
know?
they kind of like can manipulate it. It's interesting the way that they turned it into a
Conspiracy theories about people using radio towers or cell towers to like hijack the human brain, and that's what the whole tinfoil hat thing is based off of.
Yeah.
Hijacking thoughts.
That is true. I have seen that. I actually forgot that there are people that think that.
Hoyo actually likes to hijack some conspiracy theories from time to time and work with them.
Isn't Tellus also an ethereal? Wonder how that's different from the sacrifices. Yeah, so it is confirmed that Tellus is an ethereal, right? Didn't they state that in something? Even though they call it a demon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an ancient one from like 700 years ago.
Right. Which is, I don't know, that's
Well,
so
okay,
weird.
I need to clarify that. It's anywhere from 300 to 700 years ago. It depends on how long they think a generation is. And we're not entirely sure.
Did they say how many generations it was?
7 generations. Well, they said this sword has been passed down through 7 generations of the Hoshimi family.
Yeah, so here's, we actually had a whole discussion about this on stream because there was the person that is like the mod, I guess, or the editor on the wiki for Zenless responded to me on Twitter because I said that she was the 7th head, but they corrected me. They said that there have been 7 sword masters.
Yes.
And obviously
there have been 7 heirs to the sword.
Yeah,
yes.
Which I guess would start from the first sword master, which was the 3rd head. Because they were saying that Miyabi was the 10th head, but the reason why I'm so stuck on why that doesn't make sense to me is because the sword was crafted from the 1st head.
Yes.
So that's where I was confused on how, like, were they not counted as a sword master then, I guess, or like a master of the sword? It was only mastered with when it got to the 3rd head.
The sword master is the 3rd head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Chloe. Hello, how are you? Maybe it skipped a few generations? Yeah, I mean...
Oh, it definitely skipped some generations, but it's like, that's why I have such a range of 3 to 700.
Yeah.
Because even if you assume that every generation has 1 sword master, how long does the average person live?
It's even more so hard.
That's down like every 50 years or so, right? Like that's 350 years that you would pass down at minimum,
Yeah.
right? But if it's like 30, it might be more like 300 years. But like if it's like Gip's generations, you could be like 700 years or even up to 1,000 years, which is one of the reasons why I think that like the tailless, especially given some of the garbs that you see in Miyabi's, you know, animated thing, like some of those outfits, those are old.
Yeah.
Like they're very ancient styles of dress. So it makes you think that like, oh, that whole thing about Qingyi kind of being in an ancient setting
Yeah, makes sense.
might not be too far off. Like, it could be that those were her original memories before she became an android, if she was actually built on like a real person's consciousness at any one point, which is a possibility. There's nothing to disprove that yet, but it's possible that you know, Talos is from ages and ages and ages ago, and maybe ethereals were a different level of advanced.
Yeah. I am interested in how the ethereals like were when they first came about, because it seems like from the lore trailer they were okay. Hold on, before I get way too sidetracked. Sorry. Hold on. I was about to completely derail it. To answer your question, yes, I'm pretty sure Miyabi's father is the current head, but she is the sword master. And then, so what? The first Hoshi crafted it and then said, "Oh fuck it," and didn't do jack shit with it until their granddaughter. The problem is we know the first Hoshimi head crafted it, but we just know that the third head was like the sword master.
The first head would have crafted it, yeah, but I almost wonder if they crafted it as like,
for someone
this
else.
is how we're gonna seal it. Like,
Yeah.
oftentimes in mythology, you would take a powerful deity and you will seal them into an object of importance, right? And then it might be that no one uses it because it is at that point a cursed blade, right? Because like the reason they don't use it or whether it's always sealed in all of Miyabi's flashbacks is because like it'll take you over, it possesses you.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by that if they just kind of like put it into the sword and then say, nope, don't touch it.
This is cursed. Do not touch it. They literally call it the demon blade too.
It's just possible that like, because like think of it this way. Think of it as like they sealed this demon into this sword, and then maybe at that point the war continued and then wiped out basically everything. And then the Hoshimis became somewhat nomadic because they were refugees and everyone was trying to kind of like recombine or whatever, and the third head had the cursed sword because it's like this thing that gets handed down in the family, and it just so happened that like, oh, we've got this big foe we got to beat. How do we beat it?
Yeah.
Well, we have a big power. There's a huge price to pay to use it, but it's very important that we protect what little we have, kind of thing. So like, I think it's totally believable that the first head
Didn't actually
made
use
said,
it.
"Fuck it."
Yeah, I said fuck it.
Yeah.
Also, this is actually a really good question. How does this ethereal exist outside of a hollow? We actually never see her use the power outside of a hollow. In fact, I'm pretty sure the little like eyeball thing only shows up when she enters a hollow. Because in her
Mini Tails only appears inside of a hollow. They say that outright.
And then the also like an actual visual demonstration of this is they literally had the sword just laid out, like there was no sheath or anything in her original trailer, and then the energy was able to be used because they were obviously in a hollow when her mom forced her to stab her mom, and then that's when she actually tapped into it.
You know what's interesting about that though, now that I think about it? You can't take an ethereal out of the hollow.
Yeah.
Normally, as is. But in this case, they put an ethereal into something.
And brought it out.
So they took an object that was imbued with an ethereal out of the hollow. And that didn't kill it.
That is true. You're right, actually.
which means that you could, in theory, repeat this with many things.
How did they do? Oh, wait, are you gonna bring up the AI?
I was thinking about that. I was, because if you think about it, Fairy and Tailless, I mean, they're both single eyeballs.
Yeah? Yeah? There is
I
a
know
lot
that's
of
like a
eye
really-
stuff.
There's a lot. It's a very weak tie to go on, I know, but like, if you think about it, it's very possible that Fairy, well, we know Fairy can't exist outside of the computer. She's an AI, right? Like, she needs the processor or whatever. But does she? Could you seal her inside something else? Like, maybe she can only exist outside of the hollow inside of a PC because otherwise she would be sleeping, just like Tailless.
Huh. This is actually really interesting. Because, yeah, that's a good point. If that is the case, though, okay, this is such a good thing, but I want to quickly go back to, because this is so far off from where I originally wanted to bring this up, but with if the siblings are human or not. So the reason why I don't think it was an actual explosion, by the way, chat, I think what happened was whatever Carol did to them, like whatever is in the implants, I think is made to directly counter whatever resonance to the ether the Order is doing. Does that make sense? That's why they were able to, one, they have low ether aptitude anyway, but this is different.
I'm so curious about the low ether aptitude thing, because, like, on the one hand, I don't really buy it, but on the other hand, like, we've seen some evidence for it. But I wonder if they might not be a bit more like Harumasa is.
Yeah, I don't know, because they haven't really explained it.
Here's the thing. They say that they can't stay in the hollow that long. But they don't... I mean, they show signs where their body starts, you know... Phaethon goes into cardiac arrest, basically, after Miyabi brings him out of the hollow, right? But isn't that what Harumasa said about, like, his condition? Like, it affects his lungs and his heart the most, and, like, for different people, it'll affect different parts of the body differently?
Yeah, that
and
is
if you're thinking about, like, ether corruption in a lot of ways as being a different type of ether resonance or whatnot, maybe it's that they can't stay too long in the hollow because, yes, they'll corrupt, but maybe they're going to corrupt Harumasa style.
So
maybe
we
they
don't take
also
pills.
maybe they don't have ears. Maybe they have, like, something akin to it that was done to them by Carol, and that the optical implants are there as part of their management system and also their interfacing system with the hollow deep dive system and everything else.
Okay, here's the thing that I'm actually going to bring up about that. I do not think the eyes are needed for the HDD at all. I think they are to enhance it, but I do think the implants were specifically for the ether resonance, because here's the thing. If the implants are needed for the HDD system, then that means Astra Yao has the implants.
Yes and no.
Continue.
Because Phaethon says when they first, like, talk to Miyabi, they're just like, my ocular implants function is down. I can't contact anyone through the HDD. Which means that it is used to interface with the HDD. Is that their primary function? I don't know.
Okay,
but it is used for that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it enhances their usage of the HDD, but I don't think it's, like, needed. Because
yeah, because, like, it's supposed to be like you can sync your eyes with the vision of the Bangbu. Like, you need to be able to see it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, Astra Yao's got sunglasses. I wonder if it's not necessarily something you have to have inside of your eyes. Maybe you could wear a virtual reality headset.
Yeah, that is true.
So in the case of Phaethon, and also remember, like, she doesn't have quite the same capacity as Phaethon does. And she obviously has, she's not going inside hollows.
Yes, yeah, because it is a prototype. However,
right.
With
so
like,
it's possible they're trying to rebuild Carol's stuff based on her research, like what little of it they have left.
Yeah.
So Phaethon should have like the complete full original system, whereas Ashikai probably has access to a much less robust and probably a bit more clunky version of it.
Right, yeah. Is an Astro System an inferior copy? It is, yeah. Yeah, because she says that it is a prototype. However, to go on to that, she never said that her HDD version was for outside holo use only. We asked if it can let her go into a holo, and she said, why would I do that? Like, she never even thought about that as an option, because she stole the prototype from Topps. So we don't actually know if their prototype can allow the Bangbu to like go into the holo and still do stuff. I'm assuming right now it can't.
Yeah, because that's a big thing. Because like we've even seen that you know, Qingyi can interface with Bangbus. She's swapped her body with a Bangbu before.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure Bangbu mind bending piloting technology is out there. Like obviously we see it with Astro Yao. I think the real uniqueness is, can you maintain that connection through a holo in real time?
Right, yeah. Because that's the
really hard part.
Yeah, because the signal, right? Like even if the like if you can connect to the Bangbu and then they go into the holo, the question is, can this signal actually maintain through the holo and the ether disruption?
Right. That's the tricky part.
I really hope they go into, like, whenever we get Astra's stuff, like her actual involvement with Topps. Like, is she being used by Topps? Is she a member?
I mean, I would assume she's a member to some extent.
Because it doesn't seem like she wants to be there.
Right, but like what celebrity wants to be involved with some corporate crazy mumbo jumbo nonsense?
That is true. Yeah. Do we know why that works?
Most celebrities don't care.
Do you mean like why the HD, like how the HDD works? No, I don't think we really know. I mean, besides just the surface level.
We don't know.
Of,
we
like,
have ideas,
yeah.
but that's kind of it.
There's the fact that during the Torre de Inferno, there's a real gap of, okay, I actually, I still don't remember if they explained how they did that at all, because from my understanding, there's no
think
way
it's the data piles.
that, like, they're actively bringing data piles out.
No, my idea initially was like data piles are essentially like anchor points, and that you could use them as like relays.
Okay.
So if you had drones inside of a holo that were sending signals to data points, and then, to the data piles, and then the data piles could then send it to another data pile, to another data pile, you could actually like create some kind of a basic map and then send it back out. But like you would have a delay, because like there are means of connecting into and out of a holo. Like they do it at Scott Outpost all the time.
Yeah. And Soldier does it during her mission.
Yeah, so I mean there are ways to send messages. I think it just requires more external equipment, even if they don't happen to be data piles specifically. We know the data piles go in and collect holo data.
That would make sense. Yeah, because
so,
Soldier did use
I'm
the
sure
data
they
pile.
must have other kinds of functions to them.
You're kind of surprised Fairy didn't have more of a role near the end, or some spooky post-credits thing involving Fairy. I mean, we didn't have a spooky thing, but we did have the fact that she definitely, like, changed. Something seems to be weird with her now. I don't really know what happened, but after she, like, got reconnected, she acted differently.
She was very sad. I felt really bad for her.
I know, I did also feel
Poor
bad.
Fairy.
I was like, oh.
I actually think that was kind of intentional, though, on the writer's part, like, because it does a couple of things for Fairy. One, Fairy prides herself in how useful she is.
Yeah.
And the fact that when it mattered the most was the time when she was offline, I think that will bother her a lot.
Which is really
And
interesting
I think we'll see
that she's like actually upset about it. But you know what though? We gotta give her credit. She came in clutch. She sent the binary code to Jingyi.
I know. The only thing that annoys me about that is that like they don't tell you you have to play Chingy's quest before you do this one, and I'm like, I feel like you should.
Oh, they don't.
Because otherwise,
like,
you won't really
force you to do it.
understand how they became friends.
Yeah, that is true.
Because in order to even see like her trust events that have her be friends with Fairy, like you have to do her quest, and it's like, yeah, there's that. But what was the thing I was trying to? Oh, right. I think the other thing is we don't really know who or what took Fairy offline. And I think we assumed that it was, you know, Sarah's group or whatever. But I wonder if that's even the case.
Well, I would have to imagine so, because it was. I mean, because Bringer could have done it, right? Because it was right when PubSec was on their way.
It was, but on the other hand, you have to wonder about like the people who initially like set Fairy loose with the other 3 AIs. And it might be that, oh, Fairy isn't supposed to get involved in this yet. Take her offline. Like puppet master behind the scenes sort of thing.
Oh, I see what you're...
That's what I was wondering. Like if, oh no, Fairy's not part of this story. Not yet. Right?
Yeah, because they do know...
I wondered if that could be part of... Or if she's just not... Like, they can't risk her coming into contact with that kind of ether.
That's really interesting now that you bring that up. Like, because, yeah, the other two voices... The other two voices are seemingly AI as well, right?
You mean from the trailer?
From the trailer, yeah. Because you brought up, like, that it ends in an underscore, and so does, like, all of...
No, I think that's just to denote that they're doing digital communication. I don't necessarily think that means they're AIs, okay. Especially because the male voice from the trailer is Grace's teacher. So you'd have to make an argument that Grace's teacher is either an AI or like a construct like Elfie, which is possible, for sure. But it's his voice on that tape recording.
I did not realize that that the voice was that similar. Wait, can I pull this up actually? It was in her demo that you're talking about, right? Or her teaser. I
mean. The one that's 2D animated.
Yeah. Hold on, I need to bring this up because I did not know that.
Yeah.
Where was it? This was a long time ago.
It feels like a really weird place for them to reuse a voice actor if it's not the same person.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're exactly like each other.
Wait, that's her demo. Where did her teaser come from?
I'm gonna let you listen to that. I gotta throw my dogs outside because they have to pee.
Yes, you're good.
Chat. My tea is cold.
Oh, yeah, get more tea. Where was Grace's teaser? Let me just search it. I don't know why I'm trying to find it when I could literally just search it.
Grace Howard, you are an invaluable member of the Engineering Institute and my most exceptional student.
Hold on, let me also pull up. She was talking about the loud. I know. Oh, is it too loud? Oh, my bad. Sorry. I didn't mean to make it that loud. Loud. My bad. Yeah, let me pull up OBS so I can see where it's at. I had it turned up for Ashikai. My bad.
March proudly into the future. Nothing can hold you back.
That should be a lot quieter. Okay, let me pull this up. I died. I'm sorry.
Phew, Internet's impressive. I had to use Ghost to hack in.
man.
This level of security was unexpected. Stay alert.
Understood. Go, yokai. Start corrupting.
Stay alert.
Understood. Go, yokai. Start corrupting the database file.
This level of security was unexpected. Student, march proudly into the future. Nothing can hold you back. Stay alert.
That's, yeah, I mean...
This level of security was unexpected.
That is pretty close. It sounds close. To me, it does. It's deeper than Gracious
Student, march proudly into the future.
They sound the same to me. I think the real test would be to listen to it in other languages.
Oh, yeah, because it would have to be consistent if they did. Yeah, it does sound similar. But
that's one thing I haven't done.
Either way,
but
like
the voice
idea.
thing was true with Bringer.
Yes, the voice. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the voice, because someone asked this earlier, because I know some people thought that the voice in the prototypes thing, like the one that was talking to Hors, was Bringer. But I'm pretty sure the voice is different. Because the voice doesn't sound the same as the voice that was talking to Sarah, which we now know was actually Bringer.
They sound the same to me, but...
From Calydon's thing? Or from Horse's thing, I mean?
Yeah, but again, I think the only way to know for sure is to compare
the different
other languages.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because,
like, it was the
in Bringer's case, though, like, the event of Horus would have been 10 years ago. And he would have been a lot younger.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true. Yes.
So, like, I understand him being, like, a bit more pompous or a bit more energetic or, you know, things like that in that one. Compared to how tired and, like, grumbly he sounds everywhere else.
Yeah, the voices are... Apparently, they said that his voice was changed, or at least the Ian side, I assume, was changed in 1.4, which I guess is why his voice did sound a little bit different to me, but...
Did it?
I guess so. I mean, they've done a lot of weird stuff with VAs recently.
To be fair, though, like, you know, the U.S. had those really big... voice actor strikes, and I know that
it's
at least
still going on.
Yeah, well, they're still going on, but I also know that Genshin at least kicked Formosa out, as far as we know, and they've been moving to a new voice studio. But if you move to a new voice studio, there's a good chance you're probably going to lose a few actors, but in the meantime, you're probably going to have to write up all new contracts for all the ones you do have, and then you got to move them all over.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how much of a problem that is for, you know, Star Rail and Themis and Zenless and stuff like that, but...
Chloe, sweat drop. I know. Don't say anything that you can't say. Okay, Chloe said, I can confirm they changed studios. Also, if you guys, chat, don't know who Chloe Eves is, they are the ENVA for Corrin. Corrin Wicks. Who, by the way, funny enough, now that we know, Corrin was the very first, like, character created for the Victoria Housekeeping Company, and her concept, like, never changed. Which I think is really funny. Like, all the other...
Sometimes when you nail it, you nail it.
Yeah, for real. I think it's so funny that she was the consistent one. But yeah. Chat, is there anything you want to ask, like, specifically? I know we've, like, touched on a lot, but... You can't change perfection. Oh, actually, now that we're on the topic of Victoria Housekeeping Company, we do also now know who, I guess, established and is the, like, master of the Victoria Housekeeping Company. And it is... it's from this article, okay? Just to show that there is actual, like, evidence of it. The translated version of it is... where is it? Yes. What is the group Lycan belongs to? Victoria Housekeeping. The answer was, on the surface, it's known as a housekeeping service company in the new Eridu capital. But in reality, it's a group of professionals who handle any kind of trouble based on the instructions of the founder, who also serves as the current mayor. Because of the need for appropriate compensation for the work, the service fees are quite high. Currently, besides the executive, Lycan, Corin, Rena, and Ellen Jo are also members. So,
Azzy, can you make the window bigger?
Wait, do what?
Can you make the window bigger?
Yes. Like zoom in?
So they can see it?
Yeah. Let me actually see how.
Big and text is super small.
Yeah, I don't want it to be super small. There you go. That hopefully you can read that a little bit more. This part right here, chat. But also with the O there. That part right there. So now we actually know. It is indeed the mayor of Eridu, which makes sense. It's just we never actually had proof until now. Mayor's a vampire. Sure.
They're not gonna give us 2 vampires.
I mean, they could.
Not Hugo.
They could.
Dude, how funny would it be if like the mayor was Hugo's dad?
Wait, how do we know his name? Hugo? Is that the name of the vampire?
Yeah.
Where was that said?
In this quest, isn't it? It's like Hugo Vlad or something.
Oh, do they actually say it in the quest?
I'm pretty sure.
The Bangbu versus Ethereal event. Play it. Oh.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna play that today. The last event. Oh, oh, okay. It's literally in the tower defense mode.
Yeah, they mentioned the Mockingbird stuff, which means he might be coming up again because this is how they teased Astra.
They better, because that's what I said in my predictions video.
It would be so friggin' funny. It would be so friggin' funny if he was running a criminal gang and his dad's like the mayor.
That would be funny.
Whatever, but it would be really, 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 really funny.
That would be really funny. His last name is Vlad. Apparently it's Hugo Vlad, the most like vampire name I think you could have.
If that's not his real name, it is now.
That's so funny though. Hugo Vlad.
As far as I'm concerned, because yeah, Vlad the Impaler.
Did you guys talk about the Soldier and Anby thing? I mean, there are only theories, but is there some confirmed stuff? Do you mean the fact that Anby was a part of the defense force, or was there something like recent? If you mean her being a part of the defense force, we know it is confirmed at this point because of Soldier's teaser, where Anby was like instructing Soldier, and also in one of Anby's trust events, she talks about how she was a instructor in her past. And by the way, since there's so many of you here, I do also want to just straight up say, Anby does not have amnesia. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I see so many people think that. But Anby does not have amnesia.
Yeah, I don't know that she has amnesia. I think she's just like really sheltered.
Yeah, she doesn't want to, like, she doesn't talk about herself. She doesn't want to.
Well, I mean, like, if she... So assume that she just grew up in the military for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just a military baby, was born and raised to do everything in the military, right?
Yeah.
Then, like, I still consider that sheltered because she wouldn't have any normal experiences. So her interactions, with the outside world would feel very much like an amnesiac.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess it's... Are you trying to tell me people don't trauma dump constantly? Yeah, no. As for the sisters and clones thing, we don't have any actual confirmation of if they're sisters or clones. They sure do look alike, though. They do look alike.
The thing is, we know now that, like, the entire Obsidian division, at least, is definitely not made of clones. Like, they may have clones in the military.
Yeah.
They might have been from a clone project.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, just the fact that Yanagi exists
Yes.
and was a military base. Like,
Yeah, because she was actually, well, my original idea was that it was just Oval Squad. That was a like a clone thing, but we do know that Spacebar like talked about the Obsidian Division, and I don't think they all looked the same there from the descriptions that he said.
I almost wonder if like there could have been a clone program at one point, but it wasn't widespread, or it wasn't super huge, or it only resulted in like a dozen or so.
Oh, there is actually gonna shout out Zeta Slow, also a great Zenless creator, pointed out the fact that they could actually have cloning technology, and that's because of Bertha and Lila and the HIA place, because HIA is still part of TOPS and so is the Defense Force.
True.
But they obviously they could just be twins and they dyed their hair, but they are very much the exact same model. So they could have little stuff. Also, it is very interesting. Have you seen the eye looking thing on their laptops? Did you notice that?
No.
That like on the here, let me share my screen with you. The laptops that they're holding.
Just to address the chat though, Yanagi was not confirmed Obsidian as far as I know. She was just part of the Defense Force. I don't know what her squad was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
Isn't that like similar coloring to Astra Yao's thing, or is hers more green?
I think hers is more green because she also has Astra Yao's has a different or an additional color ring around it. But while I bring that up, if you want to talk about your idea of it.
Oh. I don't know how plausible it is the issue.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a fun idea, I think.
It's a fun idea. So, you know how Fairy is based off of the, oh, I'm blanking on the name. What are they called?
There's literally one.
I've been in Genshin the last 3 days, and like I keep thinking,
Evil Eye.
That it's not an evil eye.
I have it.
It's something that's supposed to ward off.
Oh yeah,
evil eye.
the Nazar thing.
Nazar amulet. Yes. Okay. Yes. So she looks like a Nazar amulet. I was looking at this symbol of Astra Yao's, and I'm like, that looks like what I could picture Ginny looking like.
Ginny.
And the reason for that is because the Ginny should be based on, like, you know, the Jinn, Djinn, which is very Middle Eastern tradition kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this design of Astra Yao's looks like an Egyptian fan. I'm gonna send you one.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to find one that was like not a stock photo. It's always fun, right?
Yes, I love stock photos. Also, with the HDD thing, I will say the HDD did exist before, like, we had Fairy. So I wouldn't say the AI is needed, but I do get your sentiment of like, okay, if she did connect
We
to
had
the
an
HDD,
AI.
Yeah, we did. We had a separate AI. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a dude.
We did have a dude. That's right. We had. Oh yes. Oh, okay. Here, let me pull this up. There you go. This is the image. Chat for you to see.
It just looks like this. And I know Jinn aren't technically from Egypt, but in Genshin they are. In Genshin they're from Egypt. And therefore
it works.
and therefore in the Hoyoverse this is true.
We had a dude. Did we just replace him? Yeah. Fairy literally just replaced him.
Fairy. like a bug, like
Yeah.
a mantis. The woman eats her mate.
Deshret incoming.
This is as close as he'll get. I mean, he is a floating eye with these colors. This
Hey,
is his color.
it
No, for real
works.
though. I'm gonna go conspiracy theory. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna go full on conspiracy theory. Cause like, well, he's blue and orange, but like, if you believe the whole Al Haytham is supposed to represent Deshret sort of thing, then you will notice that he has green and pinkish orange eyes, just like this.
Uh-huh.
And therefore,
Therefore, Deshret. I like how chat, they're all saying, there it is. There we go, called it. There's gotta be at least some sort of connection to Deshret.
there must be one.
That's so funny. Ashikai has logged on. Oh, dude,
I'll
that's so
never
funny.
be free.
And when you brought this to my attention that like maybe this could be Jin, I mentioned, and I actually redid this with chat the other day, that whenever Fairy was activated, she was the only one. Like she was the first and only AI to have been actually activated from the floor, because of the two voices asking. The dude was like, "Oh,
Right.
it's been activated," and she was like, "Oh, which one?" And then list all of them, and he's like, "No, it's actually Fairy." Which means, yeah, Fairy was the first one, but I told chat, just because that she was the first one doesn't mean the next day someone could have found another AI and activated it. So there is a chance, you know, I'm not going to completely throw it out because I think it would be super interesting with the fact that she has connected to a sort of HDD system.
I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be a CD, but
Yeah, I do
you
too,
know,
but
practice.
it's way more cool if it's an AI. But with the different AIs and like the MCs and whatnot, and also because in the interview, they actually said one of the questions. Do they have it in here? Oh, I'd have to actually find in the translation of it, but they asked about if there's going to be other proxies that are like the siblings, and they said, like, you'll see in the future. Like, we're not going to talk about it right now, but we'll see in the future. So I guess my question to you is, do you think that the other people that are in the photo in the siblings' office are actually still alive, even though they obviously seem like scratched off and burned?
I think it would be funny if they were the hackers. White noise and no face.
Oh, okay, that would be kind of funny.
We were talking about this on my Discord, and one of them has a scratched out face, like there's noise in front of it,
Yeah.
white noise, and then the other one has her face completely burned off, so no face. I know they have male voices in the thing. I just thought it would be really, really, really funny.
That is a crazy correlation.
Because the white noise at the very beginning of the game, that's not even the real white noise. It was like one of their little minions or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Which,
Yeah.
that's crazy that they managed to, if Nullface is that good from what they were saying, why did they hire that person? How did that hacker actually end up being a part of the team? They were so bad.
I mean, they got in. They must have like raw skills. They're just gullible.
Yeah, not good enough for us.
Not good enough for solo missions.
I just, because there's 3 other AIs and there's 3 other kids in this picture. And I think it would be really funny, or not funny, I think it would be really cool if the other students of the Helios Research Academy were the people that ended up getting the other AIs, and we had to like either team up or
That'd be
go
wild.
against them.
That'd be wild.
Because that would be fun. That would be cool. Because technically they're also, like, Carol is also their teachers. So what happened to them? They could have perished very, very easily. They could have perished, like, during the thing.
That's the thing, though. Like, they could have died, but
Yeah.
then why is one of the faces scribbled out?
Exactly.
Because it kind of implies that they had a bad relationship with them beforehand. Unless it's just that, like, this just happened to be one of the recovered photos and it wasn't originally theirs.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
And it was just like that ahead of time.
Because with, let's say Carol did know, again, with like my idea that she did know that the order was in Helios. It could be very well like basically the opposite of what happened with Harmos's master, right? Like they were under Carol, and then they realized what the order was doing, and then was like, oh, maybe we or they were brainwashed or something. But instead of actually helping on our side, yeah, they ended up going to the other side.
I just in chat in our Discord chat, I just sent you a screenshot of the AI auto summary as I switched tabs.
No way. That's what it shows, the AI summary.
Viewers are excited about the upcoming content in the Genshin Impact livestream, especially the introduction of a new playable character, Deshret.
There's no way. That was 5 seconds of this stream so far. How? How did it? Why?
Oh, I'm losing it.
Oh my
Okay.
god. The AI is telling us that we're correct. That's what it is. It was a chat about AI, and the AI is telling us that that's what it was. That's so funny.
This is the best use for the Google AI. Or just random ass hilarious moments like that. That's it. That's its best use case.
The fact that the Zenless is in the title, it is in the description, it is listed as a stream for Zenless, and the AI still decided to say that it was Genshin Impact is crazy. Oh,
love
dude.
it. It's so good.
That is so silly. But yeah, with the AI thing that you were saying, like the two could have turned off Fairy. That is really interesting because like who are they? Like what?
Don't know.
How are they doing this? Because I know like. Do you think? I guess a better question for me to actually ask you, for you to answer while I go get more coffee, is: do you think the White Star Institute actually created the AIs, or do you think that they just had Fairy in like they were transferring possession over to someone else?
I think they had Fairy.
But like had but not created, or created?
Had. I think she was salvaged.
Okay.
Low key.
Okay, keep explaining.
I think Fairy was salvaged from the Hollow. Cause like, how do I put this? If I remember correctly, the White Star Institute was also responsible for salvaging Qingyi. And I just think that they go into hollows and they basically find all this old equipment and technology and artifacts and stuff like that. And they try to repurpose them and they try to figure them out and, you know, that kind of stuff. Then who hired the Red Fang Gang to steal Fairy back from White Star? That, I don't know. But I think the better question is who hired Nicole to steal it from the Red Fang Gang after they stole it from White Star? Because, like, if you think about it, having the AI get stolen from White Star isn't that much of a stretch for, like, a whole mess of different people. Because it doesn't have to be someone who knows what's in it. Because remember, all White Noise knew, or the White Noise agent knew, was that the thing that was in like the Rosetta data, which meant that you could basically create unlimited amounts of perfect carrots from it, because it could calculate a perfect route out of the hollow. That's what White Noise's agent knew. And if they knew that, then it's possible that other people knew that, and that that's all they knew. It doesn't mean that they knew that there was an AI on it. My whole thing is if, you know, someone wanted to steal the strongbox from the Red Fang Gang, they may have known what was in it, but they also may have just been another person who just wanted their own Rosetta data. Like, this all could have just been a fight for, you know, illegal Rosetta data. Didn't White Noise hack us with the Red Fang USB? I don't know. I don't think they ever said that. But, I mean, that would make sense. You could totally have like a little listening software on there or a little key or anything like that. Huh?
I'm back. They did say that. I'm pretty sure Bell actually,
Did they?
yeah, I'm pretty sure Bell said that they were able to get into the HDD system because there was a virus on the USB that they plugged in, and that's why they got into it.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it was like a super quick mention of it, but I'm pretty sure they did actually say that.
Rain didn't commission Nicole to steal it from the character trailer. Rain was an intermediary. Rain got the commission from somebody else, and then she handed it to Nicole to do.
Yeah, that is true.
So we don't know who the actual client was, but the fact that they used like some in-betweens is kind of sus.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they let me bring this back up. So on the lore trailer, which I have pulled up here somewhere. Yeah, here. Let me try to not blast your ears again, Chad. I'm so sorry. Right when you left, I played a video and I made everyone deaf. When the AIs are talking and the keywords are brought up, they say there's even information on us. And wait, here it is.
Wow, that's a lot of key terms. Even ones on us.
Even ones on us. And there's a couple that are like actually, obviously besides the words that are in Chinese, which I can't actually remember what they all are, but the ones that are in English at least, there's tops and the Rosetta data.
Oh, it repeats the same words over and over again.
And White Star. So what part of this is them? Because if this is information, if there's information that's shown of them here, then clearly there's a connection in some way.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh my god, I didn't even realize Helios is listed in the corner! Oh my god, I didn't even see that! Yeah, it says it's iOS Academy. That definitely says Helios Academy in the corner.
Huh.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Helios Academy.
Right, there you go.
Oh my god! I didn't notice that before.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense for them to have Helios Academy in there.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's where the disaster happened.
I mean, what if?
Kind of weirder if it wasn't there.
I mean, if the AI is made from Helios Research Institute, and they were also people. Oh wait, what if they could be the? Oh my God, wait, what if these two people are some of the other that are listed as the people who caused the fall of the capital? Because they didn't say Carol was the only one. She said she was one of. So they clearly framed other people.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is a very valid point.
Yeah, the sinners of there, dude, yeah. Students of the Guilty. That is a sick title, though, by the way.
It really is.
You wonder if there are other students of the Guilty besides Wise and Val? I mean, if the other three are alive, then I would have to imagine that they are too. But... Deshret is the creator.
I mean, a friend of mine has a whole theory about how Deshret is actually creating multiple AIs. So like that's not totally off base.
What? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I know there were some people that were asking about this earlier. So, let me just describe the companies because there's someone asking what is Tops, what is the order, what is all that. So, Tops is, as far as I'm aware, apparently someone did like a deep dive to try and figure out what the abbreviation of Tops is, but we don't have an actual explanation of what the abbreviation is. But Tops is basically just a group of companies that are probably all corrupt. But the HIA is a part of Tops. Jonathan is a part of Tops. There is a couple other that I have like written down, but yeah, rich people. Astra is connected to Tops. Yes, yeah. Astra is actually very oddly super deep into Tops' stuff, but that's what Tops is. The White Star
Tops
Institute
is like a bunch of corporations, like
yes, yeah,
for-profit corporations. We'll just call them New Eridu's oligarchy.
yes, exactly, and they're all corrupt, as most oligarchies are. Is Astra connected to Tops? Oh, sorry, you go.
I mean, if you're funded by something, that's kind of as big of a connection as you can get.
And also, in the little like interaction that we had, she does say that she was supposed to perform for the Tops employees in that super important meeting, but that could just be the public explanation of why Astra would be there. Because why do they need someone to perform in a meeting? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, they want her there in whatever topics discussions they have for some reason.
Sounds like a K-pop idol. Yeah, exactly.
The is being a mayor like a president in New Eridu? I mean,
I'll be right back.
I would have to probably say yes. Just because like New Eridu is like the only area, right? So like I would probably say yes. But to quickly go over the other terms that are here, the White Star Institute, we're actually getting, lore on them now. But White Star Institute is actually the ones that like research into ethereals and like ether and stuff like that. And they're the ones that actually name all of the ethereals. Ethereals get their name by the White Star Institute. And we saw in the most recent, like, what is it? Not Lost Void, but in the Milanoe like event thing that we just got. The White Star Institute is researching in ways to literally manipulate hollows with the like beams and stuff like that. It reads the data on what the hollow should be, and they can like manipulate it in some way. But it was Joyous who made Rosetta Data, right? We confirmed that last time I was in a stream. I would have to say that the information that Joyous got from the Divine Maze probably helped create the Rosetta Data. Yes, we don't have any actual in-game confirmation of that. That just like outright says it, but I would definitely say yes, Joyous 100% did help create the Rosetta Data, because all of the carrots and stuff that proxies use, or investigators use, is based off of Rosetta Data, and they constantly say like the HIA and like investigators would not exist without Joyous because of him finding out stuff from the thing. Oh, and I know this is super far back. Someone did ask, I read the questions and I can't answer them all as they come through. Someone did ask, was the Divine Maze a different, like, do we know what the Divine Maze was, or was it a different hollow? The Divine Maze was a hollow. It was the Papago hollow. They confirmed that in the HIA, like, club. When you first start the tower thing, the NPC there gives you a lot of information. and she mentions the fact that the Divine Maze was the Papago Hollow. So that's what that's the hollow that he went into, very deep into, to figure out stuff about the hollows.
Isn't it interesting that he went into the hollow in the outer ring?
Yeah. And what's more interesting is the fact that they call that the like the hollows around the outer ring, the hollow haze. Which is like the first time they've said that. I don't really know what that means.
I mean, if you think about it in terms of density.
I mean, I assumed it was like just more and more hollows are like encroaching on the outer ring. But if we go with what the like dark wall should have been, which is like just a big amalgamation of like hollows that connected, I thought that maybe that's what they were hinting at. But clearly, I think whatever the hollow haze is different from the dark wall, because the dark wall is clearly something extremely special and specific.
Well, that's kind of why I was saying density, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
if you think about there being, like, a haze and then a fog and then a wall, you could think of it as, like, different densities of hollows.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if each hollow is a single droplet of water vapor.
Yeah. They, oh, wait, chat. I just made that reference, actually, in our last stream. Did they actually talk about that?
What?
In the most recent thing, in the Millinoe thing, the Wasteland event, I made a reference
I haven't
to.
played it.
Oh, have you not played it? Okay, should I have?
I haven't had time.
Can I talk about stuff there, or?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I just won't be able to help you with anything.
Okay, that's fine. I'm actually gonna bring this to your attention, because this hollow is special in the fact that it is manipulating specifically inorganic matter.
Oh.
Yeah. So it is still corrupting organic matter, because there were some NPCs that were like, we need to hurry, like, and collect this before, and get back before we have any sort of corruption. But the whole thing about this, like, the word deviant hollow. Yeah, that's what they called it, was deviant hollow. It has like a new special core in it, and they were saying that it was essentially turning the land into an ethereal. Like into the shape of an ethereal. Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy.
That means it's trying to make itself a god.
Because the someone in your chat actually brought this up. I read it and I was like, yo, this is actually crazy if this is what this is. Was it Swordmaster that they show it? Where was it?
First, the third generation.
In this lore thing. Yeah, here. Hold on to me. Am I still streaming my screen, or am I streaming chat?
Yes.
Okay, this does look like an ethereal, but like, what if that's what was happening here? Is that it literally turned the land...
Well, there are 3 there.
There are 3, yes. But, I mean, we don't know how big the hollow was. Because if this was in, like, a big part of the city, which I assume it was, then, like, what if this is essentially what this new hollow is trying to do? Is turn it into a gigantic mutant like that. Because it was turning the entire city land.
I mean, if that's the case, then the hollow is going to be connected to the order. Because that's the Exaltist Overseer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is still actually some things that can support that too. I don't want to spoil the whole thing that happens in Wasteland. But
it's okay if you do. Like, I'm not going to be able to play it for like another week.
Okay, then I'm going to show you it. I'm going to show you this thing. I don't have raw footage, so we're going to my stream. What is this?
Because fucking Genshin releases the next patch on New Year's Day, and I have a video to put out for that. And then I got to do a video of the quests when it comes out. And then Star Rail's doing their Euphorious thing, and I have to finish my Euphorious video for that. And then I'm free to go through this again.
You're so busy. You're always so busy.
I know, it's awful.
So this is I'm assuming you can see it.
Just like when we were.
This is what happened when we finally made it to
Could it
the
be that Miss
Irradiant
sword is about to
core.
lose control again? Eos's body put the sword back into its
Oh, and by
scabbard?
the way, they did
Do not
mention
worry,
before
Proxy.
this that
This time, no strange voices are
Tailless,
ringing in my
Miyabi's
head.
blade, was
Tailless
actually
doesn't seem to be
resonating with the
attempting to break
ether in this
free
hollow.
from my control. It's probably just that this
Lovely.
weird iridate crystal core has triggered Tailless's activity.
I think we're all gonna
Rather
find
than
out that we've been
it
living
seems
in a
that the
hollow the
iridate
whole time.
core in
That would be so
midair
funny.
Is showing.
But like,
Wait, what?
it's such a big
It
hollow
seems like the iridate
that
core
like
in midair
every
is showing some
layer
signs of
down
activity.
hollows you go, you get like a different level
Master,
of
ether
corrupted.
activity changes in the
And
hollow
like,
environment
there's this
detected.
theory about nested black holes
Foxfire is
being
coming from
the
Miyabi's
true
sword
nature of the
sheath.
universe.
Uh-oh.
I remember you talking to me about
Uh-oh.
this. Oh yeah,
What do
but
you
this is the
mean?
cutscene I was talking about. We get this weird
Whoa.
thing.
Hello?
That's just a mini moon. See, it's hollow. It's gonna ring like a bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
And then we have a whole nother sequence of
Is this where I tell you that
this
there's
is
actually a green
intense.
moon in Genshin?
Wait, is that the one that was shown behind the
No,
Like-
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my god,
I'm,
oh my
I'm
god.
Not,
okay.
not totally kidding. There is, it's a okay.
I
don't-
know
yeah.
there's a ton of moons. I know. There was the only thing that I know that I remember people freaking out over was when I don't even know her name. Child's Master like broke the sky or something, and we got to see past.
No, that's the Pyro Archon. That's
Oh.
not Child's Math.
Oh. Wait, I thought it was the. Oh, okay. You're right. That
No,
was
no.
Pyro Archon. I'm mixing up the two scenes of her throwing Child in the black hole or whatever.
Yeah, naughty child gets yeeted.
We live inside a hollow, and going into hollows is actually walking out into reality. That would be.
I mean, that would be kind of wild too.
Yeah, that would be crazy if it was the reverse of everything we knew. I do wonder if a specific ethereal was able to corrupt enough life and matter to grow massive and powerful enough with its hollow. Could it theoretically assimilate the hollow itself to use as a new core and allow it to move outside of one? I don't think it can do that, but there one thing that was interesting that they talked about in what was it? Where did they actually say this at? It was Geppetto's thing. I think it was during the Lost Void. Ray mentioned that the ethereals can. What is the exact wording? I don't want to like mess up the wording because then it's gonna sound weird. But it was something along the. Okay. Let me get off of Grace's boobs, chat. Jeez, chill out. There was something that Ray mentioned about like ethereals. Once they get to a certain size, then they basically can go into another hollow. And that's what I was saying that is kind of similar to what happened with Miyabi's trailer, right? With Lerna, was that the energy inside of Argos was accelerating to a super high degree. And that could be because Lerna may have come from like a fissure from either inside Hollow Zero or something else. Because so far, besides Lerna, the two other symbiotic ethereals that we actually have, which is Nineveh and Geppetto, are in Hollow Zero. So there's a chance that Lerna literally just got to that state and then went through a fissure essentially and ended up in the Argos Hollow, which caused it to expand so fast because the ether energy was so much higher. Now that it was in there. Are there fissures that go between hollows? Yes, there is. Here's the fun. There's literally an entire lore explanation in game of this, actually. And now I can show it to you. And actually, this is, I think, how other companion hollows are actually formed is through the appearance of a fissure at first. So, yes, the Jane quest did have one. Yes. Let me actually go to the.
Yeah, that was how the mountain lions were escaping.
Yeah, so there was a
They found a
fissure.
fissure that would actually take them to a base that I think was in Hollow Zero, right?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. And the fissure was in the Ballet Twins Hollow. So that's actually where we can go a little bit further beyond what they actually explain in game, because that is an instance of it going further down the family tree than what they actually say. Where was it actually said? It's in one of these knowledge ones.
I need to finish this thing.
It's super fast.
I mean, you say that, but...
Oh, here it is. Okay. Investigators can often find fissures in companion hollows that lead to their parent hollow. And eliminating powerful ethereals in the parent hollow can lead to lower activity in the companion hollow. So that's why I think I compared the hollow to, which Ashikai does this all the time, but like an egg. Or like something that's obviously inflating, and then there's a tear, right? The tears are those fissures. And when that tear happens, it can lead to any other part of the nearby area, and ether energy starts rapidly leaking out of that fissure and starts to create a new hollow, which is the companion hollow. But what I was saying of going a little bit further beyond of what it says in game is that we know from Jane's instance, since we went from the Ballet Twins to Hollow Zero, it's not just the parent hollow, it's any hollow in the family tree, essentially. Because the Ballet Twins is a companion hollow of the Limnian hollow, and the Limnian hollow is a companion hollow of Hollow Zero. And there's a fissure that leads from Ballet Twins to Hollow Zero, which means, yes, there are fissures that lead to other hollows, and that's probably how we will end up exploring other areas besides Eridu, is going through a fissure and teleporting somewhere.
I'd buy that. Because, like, if you assume, which may or may not be a good idea, that the Dark Wall is like a wall of hollows of sorts, then, like, it would be really difficult to travel through that to go anywhere. So obviously, if there's like a wall between you that you can't pass through and whatever other civilization could possibly exist, and of course you'd think you were the last one.
Right, yeah.
But if you were able to like warp through hollows by finding a fissure-based network, then you could basically reconnect parts of the world to each other.
That would be so sick, and I would love to see that. In fact, it could be
That'd
the
be really
opposite,
neat.
actually. Is not like someone from like elsewhere gets teleported while we're in a hollow, and they're
Yeah.
hella confused, and we're like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Yeah, maybe Eridu has the lowest level of technology out of all the remaining
That would be
settlements.
so funny.
Would that be a twist?
I would
Like,
love
what
for
happens
that
if,
to be
like,
happen.
What happens if, like, there was, like, a bunker somewhere that had, like, a ton of ancient military technology from Qingyi's era, and, like, they got a huge head start after the initial cataclysm because, you know, they were, you know, they were just with all of the technology. It was all
Yeah.
perfectly preserved.
That would, oh, dude. See, it even makes lore sense for that to be the case.
That'd be so funny.
That would be so sick. Because obviously, I do want to say, a lot of the, I feel like it was pretty clear.
Isekai wed.
I feel like it was pretty clear that New Eridu was not actually the last, like, the last thread of civilization in general. I do think that they
The last city.
Yeah, the last like
Last
city.
known city.
But they even
Yeah.
confirm in the dev interview that there are other settlements beside Eridu, like around the world. So we are not the only ones. Now, as to
Yeah,
what
we're not
they
the only
do,
settlement for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
We're just the only known city right now.
Also, to answer Yeet's question, they say they pushed the Dark Wall back. Does that mean it's still up? Yes, the Dark Wall still exists.
Yeah, someone else mentioned in chat earlier that, like, anytime anything has to be done with the Dark Wall, apparently all of the Void Hunters have to meet.
Oh, yes, yeah, that was said by Miyabi because she immediately stopped the investigation with Ray when she said that it was similar to the Dark Walls energy. And she said that it's an agreement among Void Hunters that anything regarding the Dark Wall has to be, like, the information has to be relayed and discussed about before they continue.
Yeah. Which is interesting in and of itself.
I know, and I really want to see. Because that's the same event, by the way, where Ray mentions that the information on the original Void Hunters is locked down by the White Star Institute.
Yeah.
Oh, the Oceanic Hollows. That's a very good question. Because there was actually
an underwater hollow.
Yes, I think that we might actually have one in the future because there
What
was.
what if there's a city under there?
Oh my God, Atlantis! Oh my God!
But we get an Atlantean hollow. That's like so on point for this whole Greek-based
Yeah, it is.
thing.
Give it to me now.
An Atlantean hollow.
Because in the port area, I don't remember which NPC it is, but there is like a guy that's like, is there a difference between hollows on the ocean and hollows on land? And I don't remember if they actually give any details on that or not, but it's somewhere. You guys know which NPC it is, I'm sure, chat. But yeah, a mermaid ethereal, dude. There could be so many cool ethereals with with an underwater one. Is there lore-related stuff for the Hollow in the Sky? I wish I could say there was. But no. Because the thing is I see so many people saying that it was just floating in the sky. But like, if it was floating in the sky, how did it form? Because as Ashikai has mentioned, yeah, but spaceships move. I mean,
Skyship. It was moving. It was descending.
What, the Sky Hollow?
Yeah.
Did they say it was descending in the thing?
No, you can see it moving.
Oh. Oh, like you can just watch it go down?
Yeah.
Skyscraper? Well, they said it was I'm assuming it was blocking the sun, since Sunbringer was the title. She brought the sun. Where is it? Yeah.
I wonder how her successors are doing.
What was it? Faster.
Next,
Oh.
Lady Sunbringer, the former CEO of Marcel Group, who eradicated the Hive Lord Hollow in the sky.
I remember
yeah.
her. She's the one who invented bamboo.
Okay, I will say though, I don't know. Is it that loud again? Sorry. I don't know if it's actually descending or not, because they do have like just all the assets around here kind of like moving.
They do, yeah, but it's interesting to note how all these assets come in.
Yeah. Also, wait, I actually
And there
didn't
is
even
another
realize-
instance of this for the countdown. Go to the part of this that has the countdown in it.
I just want to mention while I'm here, I did not realize all the floating rocks.
Anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity. The countdown. That was the countdown. Yeah, oh yeah, this
Yep.
thing.
Two hollows, they're moving towards each other.
Yeah, you're right.
One's in the sky.
It's expanding. Do you think it's descending or do you think it's just expanding? And because it's like upside down,
Either way, it's
downward?
moving downwards.
That is true. That is okay. You make a very valid point. You do make a very valid
Either
point. I guess
way.
it is the same.
So I don't know. Maybe this is the moon. Maybe we're replaying Majora's Mask. Maybe this is the moon. When the moon hits your eye like a big hollow pie, that's an accident.
Is it theory that Sunbringer's on the moon? I mean, the ground does look, well, the ground yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, It would be
Who
funny
knows?
because she has the big flag. Like, haha, Marcel Group is here first. We've conquered the moon. Can we talk about time travel in ZZZ? I mean, yeah, we can. I think it's definitely something that they'll explore more. There's not too much that we actually know about. I mean, we know obviously there's like the legends of a time traveling door inside of Hollow Zero, but there's no actual proof of it. But we do know that hollows do warp space-time. And so whether, I guess it's just what the extent of the warping of space-time is. Because like I mentioned, if they did want to make any of the other Void Hunters, like the original Void Hunters, actually playable, they could make it where we like get sent into the past and we experience the basically founding of Eridu, like firsthand. But as to if they will actually do that, we'll have to see. Watch us find that door. Does the door really exist, though? Is the question.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I do think... Actually, I think they've mentioned being in a hollow can slow... can slow aging. Well, they also say it slows, like, or it stunts growth, too, right? Give me playable, Alicia.
I don't know.
We do not know the abbreviation of TOPS, no. We do not. And no, we do not know any of the new Void Hunters' names at all. Oh, did you, Ashikai, did you see the description of whenever you click on Void Hunter?
Yeah.
Like in-game? What was your take on that? Like the way that it reads?
My take is I don't remember what it was. So I'm gonna go look it up again.
I have it here. If I'm still streaming the screen.
This is hard because I'm also playing war games on my other screen. And I can't pause it. How annoying.
I can read it to you if you want.
No. I don't know. I guess, like, I think the biggest part was that we don't have 7 Void Hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that they say that it's...
That was the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, this right here. Yeah. That the new Capital 7 badges lie forgotten gathering dust. Most of the new Capital 7 badges. So... I am interested in how many
considering that they are plural, and it says all the Void Hunters that when Miyabi does her thing, like there must be at least 3.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well, because it's. I just wish we had a name of one of them. Like we don't even know a name for a single other Void Hunter. I want them to talk about it somewhere.
My guess, though, is that like we're only gonna get 1 Void Hunter per version.
Yeah, I would have to imagine so too. And I do also think all the Void Hunters will have their own special version of whatever element they are, just like Miyabi was.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll know who the next Void Hunter might be until until 2.0 starts, whenever that is.
Yeah, chat. I remember you telling me that before, that you guys think that the Marcel group has a Void Hunter. That's like all around bang boos. Cause with the maybe one of the Inquisitors has a Void Hunter. Actually, apparently, I haven't gone into it, but someone told me that the word or like the description of Inquisitor that was mentioned was a translation issue thing, and that it wasn't like a special word in CN. It was like just a normal description of a group. But for some reason, yeah, it was called Inquisitors here. That was during Haramas's quest, right? I think. Them mentioning Inquisitors.
I don't remember.
It is called the Joyous. Well, yeah, they do mention it. Yeah, the Joyous City. But I will say, we do know that. Oh, okay, yes, it wasn't Haramas's quest. Yeah, the Inquisitors were judging his master. That's what they said. Yeah. We do know that, or we can assume that Joyous does not have a successor currently. Because
so you know that the Inquisitor is part of the prophecy mission too, right?
Do they mention Inquisitor in there?
He's a character.
Oh, see, it's been so long since I've actually done that mission that I know I did not remember that.
I was trying to think of like where I had heard it, and the only thing that was coming to mind was like the Iniquitous Baptist, and I'm like, that's the wrong freaking game.
I wonder what it is in CN though, because they never, because didn't they say the order in CN, right? That's what like the connection was, because they don't say the order in the English version of prophecy. So I would have to go through it and see, or have someone like.
Yeah, I think it says the order.
Because I wonder what like the replacement was in CN where they said Inquisitor. Because like Inquisitor's such a like fancy word in my eyes.
Just someone who's inquisitive.
Yeah, that's true. You have to replay it. So, yeah, I need to replay that mission, or at least just rewatch it at least. But anyway, to go back on the
There's only like a couple of little short clips that you need to rewatch, honestly, because like
the long part was the gameplay.
Most of that is not, you know.
Yeah.
It's just wandering around, smacking things.
Yeah, the successor for Joyous. Have you seen the stuff with the battle tower? Like when you get to 25 and then 100?
No, because I haven't had time to finish it.
Okay, yeah.
I know what's there.
Yeah.
I just haven't got there yet.
So the when you get to 25, I'm not even there yet. It's taken away. I've been using Miyabi. I think I'm on floor 61 right now, and I would not be able to get there without Miyabi. I'm not that type of. I'm not skilled like that.
I'm on like floor 15.
Yeah.
Like that's all I've had time to go through.
It takes so long, and it's so hard too. But yeah,
it's just hard to justify putting time into certain things at some point, you know. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Because I'd rather do the actual like events than farm that, and also you have other games to cover too. So
it takes so much time.
I know. That's why I have literally I've not uploaded any Star Rail, anything Star related in like over a year now at this point. I'm like hard focused on.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You know, like I get it.
Yeah, it takes a while to. But yeah, at floor 100, the dude that created the thing is like, hey, it's nice to see that the people of New Eridu can like reach this type of reach this state, and that the people of New Eridu can actually, you know, push the exploration of hollows. And then says that we have the potential of being a successor of Joyous, and says that he tried, and that he went into the Papago Hollow to try and follow in Joyce's footsteps, but has yet to return. Says that he hopes that we'll see him on the news with like a grand return after he comes out of the Papago Hollow. But yeah, so through that, we can assume that since he's trying to be a successor and says that we have the potential to be a successor, that there is no actual successor to Joyous right
Which would mean hit. But the thing is like we don't know if there's just like 7 free badges or like you have to be a successor of like specific Void Hunters.
Yeah, I don't know. Or it would be cool for them to actually expand on it, but I know it'll probably be a little bit before we do. Yeah, the lore dumps after floor 100, yeah. After floor 25, it's the dude sending you a letter, or the dude that left a letter with HIA saying like, wow, you beat it. Make it to 100 and I'll show you something cool. Is basically what it was. All right, chat. Let's do one little big group thing or you guys ask any questions and we'll rapid fire answers because I have yet to eat dinner and my family has made food.
And I also have to go finish a script.
Yes, you are also very busy.
Whoa.
It has been almost close to 2.5 hours now. What are you having for dinner? Chicken fried steak.
Just fine.
favorite Pop-Tart flavor. What was
Meat
yours?
tarts.
Meat tarts.
Yeah.
What? That is a thing?
Okay, so historically speaking, Pop-Tarts are technically pocket pies. And if you didn't know, pocket pies were invented in the US as a meal for coal miners during a long day of mining. And so what would happen is they would take the pie crust and they would put sweet filling on one end and they would put savory filling on the other end. And the idea was that you would eat through the savory filling and then you would get to the dessert, which was the sweet filling on the other side. And it was all in one. And you could put it in your pocket. Carry it.
That's amazing. This is incredible.
Yeah. So, like, it's actually canon that, you know, the original Pop-Tarts or pocket pies were meat.
Huh. I could say I've not tried that before, but... Proxies, androids, or ethereals? Humans. I think the proxies are still humans. Are Onis Thyrans?
Yes.
Yeah, because you said that it's they technically classify it as anything that's not human, right?
Yeah, well, because, like, even Talus has been identified as an Ithyran. I mean, he's not actually an Ithyran, but, like, someone saw it and went, like, oh, is that an eyeball Thyran? And it's like...
Yeah.
Well, if a single floating eyeball can be considered a Thyran, I think we can extend our definition a bit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you think we're gonna fight one of the Void Hunters? I mean, I think it would be fun. But, I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe if one of them doesn't trust us or something. But it wouldn't be fighting the siblings, because we don't really have any combat prowess.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hugo and vampires are Thyrans then?
Oh,
yeah.
We could fight as Eos. Doesn't Eos have, like, bombs and stuff?
Eos does have bombs, yeah. And we now know that Eos does have some movement. Eos can move quite well. Opinions on Soldier 11? I think she's a cutie, and I would really like to get more information on the Obel Squad, because we literally know nothing. I would have to imagine that they're going to expand on them soon. Surely. Because we still literally cannot finish Soldier 11's trust all the way. Like, it's still locked. And I would like to please have it.
Be nice.
Do you think there'll be a Void Hunter that'll be on top side? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because technically the Void Hunter, like, thing is under tops. But from the description of the Void Hunter thing, it sounds like Tops is scared of the Void Hunters. So maybe the Void Hunters are, like, actively against what Tops is trying to go for, and maybe that's why they're locking the information behind what the original Void Hunters did.
I mean, that would make sense to a degree. What do you think?
They better give us S-Rank Soldier 0. Give me S... That's just Anby. Give me S-Rank Anby. S-Rank Anby, S-Rank Nicole. Core and level check? Oh, my bad. Level 30.
Damn.
Level 30. I'm sorry, Chloe. I'm sorry. Was Lucius in the Outer Ring working with Sarah's people directly? They were hired by her people or by Bringer. I would have to say Sarah's people. I actually don't know if there was any actual...
Are you talking about the rebels?
No. Lucius. Like, if Lucius was hired by Sarah's faction, which they did say he was. But I just don't know if it was through Bringer or just through Sarah's people.
Man, I missed that too.
Yeah, it was when... here, let me actually pull it up. Because I know exactly where it is. Yeah. And don't even get me started on the idiots who couldn't take over the Outer Ring. Lucius's whole thing was like taking over the Outer Ring, and he said like he tried to run the Sons of Calydon truck off the road thinking that it was the Sons of Calydon in there, but it was Billy and the MC. Like at the start.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they hired them to try and...
Yeah, I didn't think this was about Lucius. I thought it was the rebels.
I would have to imagine it was Lucius because...
It makes more sense if it's Lucius. You're right.
Because they
I think
definitely
at the time
got
I just
word.
immediately thought rebels.
Yeah. That the Sons of Calydon had like Pearlman, and so they're like, okay, yo, get rid of them. Like, get rid of the Sons of Calydon. Rip Pompey. I know. Pompey was so sick. He was very cool.
Maybe we can go back in time and save him.
Yeah,
and then he can fight his shadow self.
Oh, that would be so cool. Exactly. Let's do that.
He can go fight his shadow self, and we'll be like, yeah.
Is Fairy an ethereal? We talked about that being that could be possible. I mean, there's no confirmation on it, but it is a very interesting theory. I do actually really like that idea. Any opinions on the real white noise? We just don't have anything on it. We just know that the ones that like we've seen was not the real thing. Like, not the real hacker. Thoughts on a future character who's half ethereal? I mean, I think there's a chance of us getting a character that has like some sort of...
Harumasa.
Yeah.
He's basically Thanatos.
I actually was going to ask about what you...
Straight up Thanatos.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he turned... Oh, okay, did he ever actually turn, though? I know they show that in the teaser and they make it seem that way, but like with the doing his mission and the way they described it, did he ever actually transform?
No, but do you have to transform to be half ethereal?
Okay, but what counts as that though? Because like, yeah, he gets corrupted, but then it's just too similar a kit.
That's what I'm saying.
Because after doing his mission, I was like, I don't know. He doesn't have an orb as a head yet. He does not have an ethereal core yet, no.
It's true. He doesn't have a core. That is true.
Oh, that was a very interesting thing that actually I saw someone bring up was the fact that Bringer is the first ethereal that we've actually seen that does not have an exposed core.
Yeah, but he's a sacrifice, and
He
the other
is.
sacrifice didn't have one until it fused with the machines either.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because it still had the face mask thing, and until that like broke is when its core showed. Feel like it's a strength boost or something. Yeah, I mean. In one of his trust events, he describes nightmares he has, which is basically his character demo. I see. One of his eyes is blue while the other is yellow. Yeah, they explain that in the quest. It's a side effect of the sickness or either the sickness or the drug. But the dude that we saw at the beginning of the quest turn into ethereal also had their eyes like change.
Yeah. So it's like he can apparently reverse the effects to a degree, which would be kind of interesting though if you could get a character in a situation where they could freely turn into and revert back from an ethereal.
That would be really cool because I mean the only explanation would be they could only do it in the hollow, like if we saw it in gameplay, but that would still be really, really cool. I think we will get characters that have some sort of ether enhancement. But as like actually turning into an ethereal would be super sick.
Well, like that's another question. Could Bringer ever leave the hollow after he refined himself?
That is a good question.
Did he just like decide he was going to be trapped in a hollow forever? I mean, like I guess he knows he could probably travel through fissures and go to different hollows, but like he'd still be stuck in the hollows.
Wait, yeah, no, wait, that's actually a very good question. Because technically, chat, timeline-wise, the prototype of the sacrifice existed outside of a hollow.
In a canister. And it was just their remains.
Yes, but they put it in the. That's what was being stuck in the monument. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that damned Hoshimi Miyabi when I get out. Oh, yeah, he did definitely plan on leaving, but that's so interesting. I mean, he obviously still had full sentience. That's a good question though. Could he turn back? I don't know. I mean, it was an experimental. What's the word I'm looking for? It starts with an S. It's not syringe. Serum. Thank you. Serum.
Serum.
Yeah. It was an experimental serum. So, I mean, yeah. There's a chance that he could return back, but there will probably be side effects. I'm sure. Oh,
But like, if he's in a hollow, can he turn back into a human?
yeah. That's okay. This was a
There's
complete
still
other
interesting
thing.
questions no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
One of the other things that I was gonna point out to or ask you, because I don't think I actually brought this up, but I know I did bring up the fact that it's odd how fissures are always helping us, like in very opportune times. But we directly take a fissure to Bringer's hand. Like the siblings aren't they're not surprised either. Like they are looking around, but they're looking around for his remains. But you can see in the end credit scene, you can see Eos walking into the fissure, which leads directly in front of him. And so it's like, okay, is there a way that like we are subconsciously controlling the flow of fissures? Or like what is happening here?
Maybe that's a secret power.
Because again, when we throw the music thing in the Ballet Twins, we throw it into a fissure. It teleports the thing away. Caesar happened to be saved by a fissure. What else was there? There was something else in the earlier chapters with fissures that just like, it's too...
There's one where they say there's a fissure straight ahead for Zhu Yuan and Xing Yi.
Yes, yeah. That just happens to lead like directly where they need. It's weird.
I mean, now that you bring it up, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a bit strange.
Like it is directly to like in this, Belle is like, yeah, they're looking around, but they're not looking around to see where they are.
Or are they just really good at tracking them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
But it looks like they're creating it. Like they're able to deposit themselves in a very
Yeah.
precise spot.
Because it disappears! And normally the fissure stays there. It's so weird. It's such an interesting, like...
Really weird.
Like, I didn't really see that many people talk about it, but, like, they literally just used a fissure to fast travel.
I mean, I thought it was really convenient, but, like, at the time I was just like, I'm just going to write this off as, like, plot device thing.
Yeah.
But now that you bring up all of the other incidents, I'm like,
Yeah, it's weird.
you know...
It's so odd. Oh, yeah, it could be one of their powers. I mean, if their implant is literally to, like, avoid the mutation of the other ether, then maybe they can subconsciously mutate ether themselves. Because the way that they... I don't think they know that they're doing... For some reason, I don't think that they know that they're doing this. MC farts and a fissure opens. No, that is not... No.
I mean, it's possible that the HDD has functions we don't know about.
That is true, yes.
And it's possible that they don't know maybe the extent they could do something. But, like, I'm sitting here wondering, like... A lot of this stuff connects back to their ocular implants.
Yes, yeah, and it's definitely something to do with Carol. Because it's interesting that they can connect, like, they can call people. Like, through their implants. Like, the implants are so versatile.
Yeah, sure. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show
I'm gonna have
you.
to... do we have any fissures in the hollow with Miyabi? Not, I don't think in the main story of, like, doing that. But, I mean, we do talk about fissure... We do learn fissure lore in, the new Milanoe event, the Wasteland event. Because in that, Miyabi says that she can feel the energy only coming one way from the fissure, like it's being routed in one direction, and we break it. We shatter the fissure, and it causes ethereals to spawn, like ethereals to leak out of it.
You know, it'd be very interesting if they could pinpoint fissures and then move them. Or if they could just see weak points in the hollow structure.
And, like...
Be able to, like, kind of prod them open.
Yeah, create them, yeah.
I mean, I'm on board the idea that they can, to an extent, whatever method that is, that they can somewhat control these fissures.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, what you're saying is the implants were broken during that scene and we didn't have any convenient fissures. Yeah, that is true, because Miyabi had to take us out, which normally we get like a fissure that leads close to the exit or something. How the implants are powered? Yeah, I have no idea.
The thing is, like, the thing about the fissures, though, is there has to be some sort of limit to it, because otherwise for their proxy work, they wouldn't need to calculate routes out of the hollow necessarily.
Yeah.
Like,
because they could just take a fissure
you
to it.
wherever they needed you to go and then deposit you right near the exit.
Right.
So there has to be some limitation to it. Unless they're trying to keep their hours secret. And we know they suck at that, so...
Wait. Are we going to assume that they're just chilling in the hollow here during this credit scene? And this is not in normal Port Elpis? This is still inside the hollow?
I mean, it doesn't look like the hollow, does it? Because
It-
Steel Tusk is there.
Right, exactly. But then how is the fissure here?
You bring up an excellent point.
I can't imagine they'd just be chilling in the hollow.
Yeah. I mean, they could all be walking out of the hollow.
Out
Like,
of
this is
it,
like what
yeah.
they're exit.
Yeah. You think it's the entrance? Are there ether crystals in the background? No. Oh, wait, yes there is. Yes there is. Yes there is. Yeah. There is. Okay, so they are just chilling in the hollow. Yeah, there's ether crystals
Okay,
back
okay,
here.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, that was gonna get really complicated if that
Whew,
wasn't.
Yes, I agree. Okay, yeah.
I was
okay.
not here for that.
That would be a very, very direct, okay, they can make fissures somehow. But no. Okay, it is indeed in the hollow. All right. Well, I think with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, chat, because I do want to go eat, and Ashikai is very busy with other videos. But thank you for joining. I know, I'm sorry. You gotta go back to work now.
Oh, I have 2 days to do this.
You got it. You got this.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you. Thank
And
you
then
for
I gotta
joining.
do it again.
It was very nice to have you here.
Thanks for
and,
having me.
Yes,
as
of
we
course.
as we've been talking in DMs, we need to do it a bit more often.
Yes, I agree. That is much
Make
easier
the Lord
to.
Jack a more regular thing.
I know. I've done one every patch. But this is the first time that I've actually had like a guest on. But yes, we will. Chat. Don't worry. We will have more Fairy Radio episodes, and if you ever want to come back on, I will obviously very gladly have you back on for future episodes.
Oh, invite me anytime.
Perfect. I will do
I'm
so.
terrible at proactively trying to live stream, as anyone who's been to my channel will tell you. But usually I'm not super busy to the point where I can't join a live stream. Oftentimes I just don't want to live stream on my own, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
but then I have to like sit there and I have to do everything.
Yeah, you have to entertain chat. I know it is a lot of work to entertain chat.
I mean, it's fine. It's just, it's a different kind of energy.
Mhm.
The last stream I did with a friend was with Roosevelt, and she and I were there for almost 5 hours.
Yeah. If I didn't have dinner ready and I know you weren't busy, I could also just sit here for a very long time. And just
I
continue
know,
chatting.
that's the problem. See, that's actually what makes like doing it with multiple people way more fun.
Yeah. No, it's much better to, or this is the first, like I said, the first time that we've had like a guest on, and it was a lot more fun bouncing off ideas in an actual VC besides just asking a question and then waiting for chat to give a response. So yes, it was definitely
Yeah, that
more
too. It's a
fun.
little bit more interactive this way because like one of us can fill in the gap while the other one's checking chat or
Yes,
whatever the
exactly.
case. So that's always nice. So I like these. Whatever you feel like you need an extra companion on your fairy radio, you let me know.
Hell yeah, I will let you know. Thank you for joining, and
I'm
chat,
always down.
thank you for joining as well. I love you all, and I will see you all very soon. I think I may stream the Arknights events tomorrow if you guys are interested in that, but besides that, I will let you know when I go live next.
I gotta do that
and
still.
Yeah, I haven't even started it. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I'll see you later. Bye-bye!
Bye.